Hello, it's Crafty Carol here with yet another little video for you. I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator from Northern Ireland, and I don't know about you, but I love our designer series paper and I always buy loads, but that actually means I have loads left. So I've been coming up with a few ways to use designer series paper and use it up. So I'm using, in these that I've made here, I've got a little bag here that just opens, little bag. That actually uses 2 pieces of 6x6 and I'll show you how to make that one next week. This one is a little wee one. It's again just got a little, you could put ribbon on the top. I've just used one of these little clips that I have. This is a lovely little dinky bag just for something small, little chocolates or something like that. And that is a retired set that I've done that with. Very retired papers because I'm using them up. This one just uses a piece of DSP 6x4 and I'll do that one in a separate video. But the 2 bags I wanted to cover today are these. And these are both made with a single piece of 6x6 paper. So this one is a lovely little one. It's got a square bottom and then it sort of comes up to join at the top and it just sort of hooks together with a piece of ribbon like that. This one is a little bag again. It opens like that. I have made this before. I made it for one of my Christmas videos last year, or can't remember if it was last year or the year before. But anyway, I've made this one before. It's such a lovely little bag. So I'm going to show you how to make these 2 today. For the decorations on them, I've used a retired punch for this scalloped edge and just one of my old circle punches. The 1.5, I've done a 1.5 inch circle, and this old retired punch was 1 3/4, so it fits really well on there. But you could use dies or whatever you have that would fit that. But I have used the stamp. This stamp is a current stamp. It's in the new catalogue. It's from the Circle Sayings, and you've got some lovely sayings on it. Thank you, happy birthday I've done for these. And I've used this little stamp here because to me that looks a bit like a sunburst. But you've got a shell circle, you've got flowers, you've got a whole design that would come out with a circle. This comes as a bundle with the new 2 3/8 of an inch circle punch, so it's definitely worth getting. And then you have various other ones that actually you can put around the circles that will match that actual punch. But I found that these matched beautifully on my little tiny 1.5 inch circle, so that's what I've used today. So let us move on. I'm actually going to use for these that I'm doing, I'll make this one first. It's really quite, oh, Gus is barking outside if you hear that, apologies. But I'll make this one first. So let's do that. Which one should we do? Let us do it in the purple. So this is the Simply Marvellous paper from Celebration, can't remember when, some time ago. But it's just a simple 6x6 piece from the pack. And this is really easy to do, this particular one. If you've got a directional design, you want to just think about which way it goes. But for a lot of our papers that don't have a directional design, like this paper and like this, it doesn't actually matter. So on the first side of here, actually I'll do it on my scoreboard because it's actually easier to see, I think. Just get my scoreboard out. You can do it on your trimmer or the scoreboard. So on this first side, I'm going to score it at 1.5 inches, which is this mark here. So we're just going to score down like that. And then I'm going to score it again at 4.5 inches. So in other words, that's 1.5 inches in from each side. Then I'm going to turn it round. And on the other side, I'm going to score it at 2.5 inches and at 3.5 inches. And basically that's it. There is no cutting, there is just a bit of folding. So let me show you. So the first thing to do, it's going to fall off. No, we're okay. First thing to do is I am going to fold and burnish all of, which side shall I have outwards? No, I have this side outwards. So I'm going to fold and burnish all of the score lines. I'm going to burnish them really well because I want these to be really, the bag fits better together if they're really well burnished with your bone folder. So that's the 2 centre lines that we did, and now I'll do the 2 side ones. There we go. So you say, how does this make into a bag? Now this is the only fiddly bit, and this is where you're going to fold. So you're going to take So you see we've got the 2 folds in the middle here, and we're going to take the corner of each of those outwards to the corresponding vertical or horizontal fold, depending on which way you look at it, the hold the other way. So we're taking it out like this. Okay, so I'm going to put it down because it's a lot easier. So I'm taking this point to this fold, so hopefully you can see that there. Hold it with my finger and then just use my finger and my nail just to fold that down there. You see, so that point there has gone across to the fold there, and then I've just pushed it down inside and made sure I've got a really good crease there. You can see that. So we're going to do that with all of these bits. So the same with this one. Take this point out here to that line there. And we want to make sure it folds right in the middle. So I want to make sure that it lines up just like that. And then I use my finger just to make the fold. And that's one side of my little bag. And I do exactly the same on the other side. So I'm taking this point to that fold. So take that across there. Make sure it's just exact in the middle there and lined up. Run my fingernail down it. And the final one, that point out. My hand's in the way, you can't see. That point out to that fold, and again, run my fingernail down there. And that is the bag. That's how it is. So you've got these little bits that poke out either side, and you've got it folded there. Now you can actually just leave it like that. I personally like to stick these side bits down. So where you go with that, you want to put glue just on this, don't know what shape that is, just on the top bit up to, but not including that crease line. So we're going to do that on all 4 corners, just this top piece that isn't folded in any way. So hopefully you can just see the glue on there, and then we simply fold across and stick down. My folding's not great, is it? It's not quite in the middle, but that doesn't matter. So we stick those pieces down and it leaves the middle bits free to form the bag. And then, simple as get out, we just need a little clip. So having left them on the other side of the room, let me just use this one to show you. So just put the little clip on like that. And then all we need to do is do a little decoration from the front. So I've punched out something in Highland Heather, just to go there, and I've punched out my circle. And I'm going to just stamp that using these little bit of scrap paper underneath. So I'm going to use Highland Heather, which I did get out. Where is it? Here it is. My Highland Heather stamp pad. And I'm going to stamp first of all the happy birthday from the circle saying set here, that happy birthday. And that goes beautifully across the middle of my little circle here. So I'll stamp that on first. There we go. Just wipe the stamp quickly clean. Then I'm going to use this sunburst thing. I don't know what it is, but it looks to me like a nice sunburst. And I'm going to put one at the top, just above the happy, and one underneath, just underneath birthday. And I think that just adds to it. Obviously, you could put gems on, you could do whatever you like, but I quite like those stamps. I'll just move those out of the way. Close the stamp pad up before I lean on it and get it where it shouldn't be. And then very simply, that out of the way, I just need to stick this to my bigger scalloped punched out shape. Die cut, as I say, if you've got dies, that would do fine. So I'm going to stick that on there in the middle as much as I can. And then I'm going to use a couple of dimensionals. Oh, just pulled the edge off the edge. Oh, look, I've got no dimensionals left. Quite ridiculous. I'll just use those 2. There we go. I do use the edges as well, by the way. I always use every bit of my dimensional sheet. Need to get a new one out. There we go. And that just goes on the front like this. Now on this one, I put a little piece of ribbon across underneath. You could do that or just leave it plain. I'll just leave this one plain just so I can finish it to show you. And here we have, that one was clipped, a really simple bag that's of 6x6 paper. So the next one, oh, I've got that clip there. Let me use that one. Then I've got the 2 to show you. There we go. Actually, that one matches quite nicely. Quite like the colours. I think I've got them in silver and gold as well as the bronze and black. But anyway, those are those bags. So let me show you this second bag. I love this. This was what's it called? Purple Posy, I think, this colour. Beautiful. So I'm going to show you how to make this bag now. That looks really complicated, but believe me, it isn't. So you do need your scoreboard for this, because it is a little bit awkward to do with the trimmer. But if you've got directional paper, this is important. You want to place the pattern, so it's facing across your board up here for your first score. So your pattern needs to be going this way. So this is the top, this is the bottom, and you're going to do your first score at 1 3/8 of an inch. So just there. Now we're going to turn it through 90 degrees clockwise. So we turn it like the hands would move around a clock. So now our first score line is horizontal across there. So what we're going to do is we are going to score again at 1 3/8, but this time just as far as that first score line. So just to this point where it's crossing this now horizontal line. Then we're going to move to 2 3/4 and score the whole way down. Then we're going to score at 4 1/8, so that's the first little mark past the 4, again just to the score line, and then finally 5 1/2, and we're scoring all the way down. So we've got 4 marks, each at 1 3/8 distance, if you like. The first one down to your crosswise score line, second one all the way, third just to the score line, last one all the way. So that is the scoring we need to do. That away again in the hope it doesn't fall. So now we're going to do a little bit of cutting. We can actually do the folds as well, so I might just do the folds. I think we'll have the lighter colour on the outside of this bag. So I'm going to fold these pieces so it'll help you see when I come to do the cutting. So there you can see all my folds. I'll just put a little bit of a fold in those so you can see them. So the first thing we're going to trim is we're going to take out this piece here, this little tiny corner, the thin corner there. So we're going to take that out completely. So I'm just going to cut up the score line there. And I'm going to cut in a little tiny bit. So it's at a little bit of an angle there. That wasn't quite at the score line, so I'm just going to trim that a bit more. It's always difficult when I'm trying to show you in the camera. So then we're going to cut up each of the rest of these score lines just to as far as that crossways crease. Okay, so then we have 4 little flaps like that. This flap here, we want to just trim the corners. Now you can either use a corner rounder or just like me, I just basically do it by eye. So I'm just going to just round off that corner, and same this side, just round off that corner. And that is all the cutting you need to do. So we've got these 4 flaps here and flap in here and 1 centre fold. Hope that makes sense. So the first thing I'm going to do is put a little bit of tear and tape down that fold and close the bag up together. If I can find the end of my tear and tape, which has vanished. Oh, there it is. Dearie me. Imagine not being able to find that. So now that's the pokey tool. There we go. So that's tear and tape down that strip, and obviously if I fold it across, I know that it's properly together. So that forms our bag. And then to form the bottom of the bag, this is really the clever bit, which I like. You're just going to squeeze it like that, and you find you've got your 4. If you squeeze the sides in, can you see how these 4 flaps just appear to make a sort of square bottom? So this one that's been rounded is going to be your final flap. The others are going to go down in turn. So I tend to put the one opposite my final flap down first, and then, let's get my glue out, I can put a little bit of glue on there and fold one of the side flaps in over. And I just want to make sure I'm making it as square as I can. So I'm holding it between these 2 fingers and keeping it square. Put another bit of glue on there, fold the next flap down, and then finally some glue on my final flap and fold that over. Now, because I've used Tombow, I can now squeeze and move if I'm not sure that it's exactly square, but your aim is to make this piece square. And that final one just rounded means you haven't got any bits sticking out. You could leave that if you're absolutely sure about your you're folding, you can leave that one okay. But can you see how that just sticks together and forms the bottom to your bag? And that's your bag. How simple is that? So just remains for me to punch a hole for some ribbon. So I'm using my crocodile here. So I'm just going to punch a hole roughly in the middle. You can measure this. I'm just doing it by eye just to show you. And have I actually got any ribbon here I could use? I've got this bit. I have got a bit here. It's far too long. Let me just cut that in half, because that half will do. Where's my ribbon scissors? Right, so I'm going to fold a piece of ribbon in half. This is still too long, but it doesn't matter. Just to show you, push that through the holes and pass it through itself. And that just holds it tight. And obviously we can trim that because that's far too long. Oh my goodness. There we go. That's a better length. So that it comes, oh, stuck to my finger. Go off, there we go. So that's how we keep it closed. And you just reverse that to open it again. Just pull it back through to open it. And then I just need to stick, I've already prepared this one, stick another of my greetings on the front. So I'm just going to put some dimensionals across the middle of that, because I don't need it up and down. I can just put one across the middle there. There's a bit of my edge of dimensionals. So I get my new bit out. And again, you could put more behind there. You could put some ribbon behind there, or whatever else you wanted. And there is your bag. Where's the other one there? There we go. So they are two different little bags that you can make to use up some of your 6x6 DSP. Really simple to make. All the measurements and everything will be on the blog, so don't worry if you haven't picked them up from the video or watch the video. Depends if you're a visual learner or wish to just read the instructions. But I love this little bag. As I said, I've done videos on this one before, but this is a new one, I think, to me. I don't think I've done this one on a video before, but they're really lovely little bags, just for depending on what size of treat you want to give somebody. So I hope you enjoyed that. If you did enjoy this, please do subscribe to my channel and go to my website, craftycarolscards.co.uk, where you'll find all the measurements for this and all my previous projects. And please, while you're there, sign up for my email list, and then you'll find out when I'm going to be doing what, and can come and join my live craft-alongs perhaps. That would be lovely. I'd love to see you. Thank you for watching, and bye for now.